Hello Wargamers, I just wanted to talk to you today about A Colder War. So the game that I was writing a while ago now. I've had another little look at it. I've been coming up with some new ideas, and I just wanted to share a few of them with you. There's nothing hugely revolutionary, just a couple of ideas that I thought would be kind of cool just to spread the word about. So for anyone who's previously watched the initial playtest and that in the back in the day, um, the sort of the way the game works is still the same. It's an initiative-based movement, much like in X-Wing. Each leader has a group of lackeys, kind of like jacks and warcasters, with each leader having a special effect on the people they take with them. Now there are simple characteristics. We've got movement, initiative, combat skill, marksmanship, morale, defense, strength, and skill. Now skill is like a really special one just for a few members, so that like missions, basically mission-based things. So if you need to deactivate a bomb, then someone with a higher skill level and a specialization in bomb disabling will be able to do that better than a regular guy who might have a 1 in 10 chance of doing it. So it basically works on an activation system based on initiative. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a mini, and we're going to talk about a couple of ideas that I've had, just some early stage ideas, just so you can let me know what you think. If you've got any tips and stuff, that'd be fantastic. So let's have a look at this fella. So here we can see a rebellion, sort of like, probably an assassin, probably not an assassin actually, probably just a rebel or some kind of ranger or trooper. But what I've basically done is it runs off a D10 system, as you can see, a couple of D10s there. So it's nice and simple. It's you know what the chances are of you rolling something. And what we can see is also this mini. So it is 28mm scale ideally. This is an EM4 miniatures trooper or ranger or something with some Imperial Guard bits on there. I really like this model. Not the way it's painted perfectly. I have not done that, but I like the look of the model. So what I wanted to talk about really was just how the game runs down, plays. How the game plays. So each individual will activate a character. So a character has his lackeys, his team. So you activate the character, and then in order of initiative step, other than the character himself, his team initiates. So if my character has initiative 9, he's able to give out his orders quicker, and then it works down from there. So in his team, initiative 6 goes before initiative 3. The idea being, the smarter you are, the quicker you react to things. Now, once all of his team members have been activated, he may activate himself. And they can then pick from a number of actions. So the rules for actions are you've got a move plus an action. And that happens in the activation phase. So the way it works is I can move and then I can move. Or I can move and then shoot. I can move and charge. I can move and what's effectively known as hitting the deck, so taking some cover. Or I can move and run. I can obviously forego moving and just shoot. And I'm thinking of some kind of benefits to doing that, so you're not always moving necessarily. But then from there, once they've decided what they want to do, each individual model then goes on to what's known as the resolution phase. So you basically go through all the activations you've just done. So, for example, ranged and close combat roll-offs. So this is a very engaging game, what's supposed to be, where both players are constantly doing things side by side. So it's kind of Infinity-esque in the roll-off system I've picked, with the ranged to hit rolls being a D10 with a modifier. The wound is a D10 strength versus a D10 defense. So, i.e. the strength of the weapon, you roll a D10 and add its strength, and then you have to try and beat your opponent's roll of a D10 plus their defense roll. And in combat, it's obviously, instead of a D10 minus modifiers, it's combat skill versus each other, which allows for a fairly versatile mechanic, which means that shooting and close combat are fairly viable. There are ways to sort of buff the units around you, and I'm really going to try and work on that, so it's very character based. And I've written out some stats and stuff here for just a couple of character ideas I've had. And then damage resolution is the last part of the phase of the resolution phase. which means you take the wound pool. So all the 2 wound rolls basically count up as a wound token. Now you can try and get rid of those wound tokens by doing a strength test first of all. So basically, once you are handed a wound token, you take a strength test, but it's easier to do them all at once. So that is where you must equal your strength or lower. Any failed ones basically stack up, so that you keep the token, and any past ones you remove the token. Then the following turn, or following phase, I should say, if you are wounded, you have a token on you. If that token has remained from the previous phase, you have to take an initiative test. In an idea sort of like grabbing an EpiPen or grabbing a bandage or whatever, and managing to just quickly stitch it up so you can keep going. So basically, you take an initiative test, and that goes to a knockdown again. Basically, I'm not sure I'm explaining this hugely well. I do apologise for that. I'm really trying to picture it in my head and explain it out loud. I've got it written down in front of me in rough notes. And so once you've activated, once you've done all the resolution, comes to morale, which is simply a D10 and bravery. You want to get the number of your bravery or less. You take morale checks when a pack leader dies, when a companion dies, or when you are wounded, not knocked down. So if you take a wound, once you have to start making initiative tests, you start making morale checks. And you just flee your regular movement. It's really not too sort of complicated in that respect as an initial sort of idea. So it's basically one character and a team. The character activates the team, and then you go through the roll-off process. And that's done for each team down in order of initiative. So initiative 9 goes first, or 10, all the way down to 1. And that works for all of your activations, basically. So thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a bit of a, maybe a bit more complicated than I was hoping. I was hoping it'd be nice and simple. I might have a diagram or something up on my second screen next time, just to make it a little simpler. But thank you very much for watching. Don't forget there are 2 links in the description below. That was 4. There are 2 links in the description below. The first is to the TableTopBanter blog, and the second is to the Legion of Gamza Facebook page. Go check both of those out. And thank you very much for watching. Obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. Pop some suggestions down there, potential gameplay ideas. I've got some composition. I've got some points costs coming up. I'll do those in a future video once I've started typing up the rules instead of just using an old-fashioned notepad. So thank you very much for watching. It's been me, Callum from TableTopBanter. Don't forget, have fun.